All right, it's Friday, baby. Let's go. I am ready to go. When the Metallica shirt's on, we're ready. We're feeling frisky. A lot of people already in the room. It is great to have you here. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show on Damon Bruce Plus. Oh, the army grows. The legend grows. The reputation grows. And we like that. Thank you very much for supporting. It's been a good week. Week of new lighting. Week of a new camera. We might have a new microphone coming in this weekend. More bells and whistles as Mrs. Plus continues to improve the product. Again, I'm just a pretty girl sitting on top of the car looking all tardy. Hey, Jillian built the car. Jillian built the damn car. She's putting in she's putting new rims on the car this weekend. It's going to get even better. We're at the end of month 2. This is our 8th Friday. So that's officially 8 weeks in the books here. Sponsors are joining. More people are showing up. We thank you so very much. And again, by the time football season comes around, this thing's going to be a nuclear warhead just aimed at the internet. We're going to blow it all up. It is really good to have you here today. We got some stuff to get into. A week to recap, an interesting weekend to look forward to. Let's just get into the fact that the Celtics feel like they're back a little bit in this series. There's a difference between extending a playoff series with a token win or two on your way out the door and climbing back into the series. Now, look, this rug can be pulled out from underneath and Miami wins one more game and it's good night Boston. But man, for 2 games in a row, the Celtics have looked absolutely legit against Miami when they looked dead in the water for 3 straight games, starting 0-3. They're climbing back into it. Again, one thing to extend the series and another thing to sort of feel like they're back in it. Back-to-back convincing wins. So we got ourselves a Game 6 tomorrow in Miami, 5:30, and I'm all about it. You know, it's good that a couple lopsided games make me believe we might have a series here that could go 7 games. What I'd like now, and I'm going to get a little selfish, what I'd like now is a good game. Give me a good fourth quarter. We don't have much hot NBA basketball action left this year. So I want some good hoops before it's all said and done. I think the Nuggets are about to be NBA champions. That's well stated. And we learned some things today. How about the fact that LeBron James came out in the news saying that he's been playing the last 2 months with a torn tendon in his foot? Obviously, we talked about the Warriors' pivot to LeBron James. Maybe. Well, I wonder what this news about a foot does. I'll tell you right now, though. You know, everyone's looking to blow holes in LeBron. What's wrong? What's right? Dude, I can't think of how many players would shut down their year with a torn tendon in their foot in their age 28 season, much less age 38 season. That foot must have been barking at LeBron something fierce, man. Off-season surgery could be on the horizon. Torn tendon in your foot doesn't sound. How you gonna fix that without a little off-season surgery? You know, we're talking about what he's got left. What he's really got left. Does he have 100, 120 impactful NBA games left in his body? And if he were to attach those 100, 120-ish impactful games left in his NBA body to the Warriors, let's just say it is going to be a very, very interesting offseason for the Golden State Warriors. We have lots to get to today. But let me tell you, if you want to get to a good lunch today, this guy right here, Ike's, is ready to take care of you at his restaurant today. And if you don't know where his restaurant is, just open your map. There's probably one around you, especially if you're here in Northern California, but he is expanding. We're talking about almost 100 Ike's sandwich shops are around, 100 on the way to 1,000. That's like we're at like 5,500 subscribers on the way to 10,000. We're going to get there before anyone believed we could. I promise you that. Outworked, out-hustled, not here. Somebody was ripping me yesterday. Damon, only an hour? Only doing an hour for us? Hey, baby, first rule of show business is leave them wanting more. That's the first rule. So go get yourself a sandwich at Ike's today. And again, if you're feeling frisky on a Friday like I am, I can promise you some blackened whiskey on the rocks will be on tap in the Bruce household tonight. I can guarantee you that. I might even have to take a little picture and do a little shot and say Dobsha to everyone out there who's watching. A little bit later on tonight. There's my man Ike right there. Look at he's not just sponsoring the show. It's like what George Zimmer, I'm not just a president, I'm also a client, or whatever that thing was for the Men's Warehouse. My man Ike supporting the product in many, many ways. And again, Steve P says, those voodoo chips are the bomb. Those are really good. And I'll tell you, I'm a big believer in the caramel apple pop that you get too. So I'm feeling it. Damon from Irwin, bring back the Pound It soundbite so we can pound some Mike sandwiches and black and whiskey. Oh, Annie, baby. One of the great callers of my career. Pound it, pound it, pound it, pound it. Loved her. Loved Annie, baby. Thank you very much. Again, bells and whistles will be arriving soon here on De Plus. And by the way, so this sign, we need to get a new sign. We can't get this old-fashioned lit-up behind sign like all LED and our camera screws with it, but we're going to figure it all out. We're going to figure it all out, and when I say we're going to figure it all out, what I'm trying to say is Jillian's going to figure it out, and I'll plug it in and try to take credit for it, but you all know who the mastermind behind this whole operation is. The operation is, of course, fueled by Blackened Whiskey, and we'll be celebrating all things Blackened Whiskey when we get to Club Plus here in just a little bit. But as I was saying yesterday, this is going to be a fascinating off season for the Golden State Warriors. The flirtations with LeBron aside, if that doesn't happen, how do they improve this team? Incredibly cap-strapped decisions, will be forced upon them more than they're just about to be able to go out and make their own decisions about improving this roster. But as I said yesterday, any concept of a two-timeline plan, that's totally scrapped right now. That doesn't even exist anymore for the Golden State Warriors. There is but one mission going forward. There is one timeline, and that is one more finals for Steph Curry. Beg, borrow, steal, kill. Doesn't matter how you get there. That is now the mission. Future be damned. 2028 season be damned. There's no way to avoid the crash and burn that's going to eventually show up at Chase Center. It's coming. As we said yesterday, you go ahead and look at the post-Michael Jordan Bulls. You look at the post-Kobe Lakers, post-Ewing, Starks, New York Knicks. It never gets better when the best player in your franchise is done. It never does. So there's no way to really avoid it. Embrace the suck when it happens, and it'll be a lot easier to go through the suck if there is one more NBA Finals appearance for Steph Curry and company before it is all said and done. Little breaking news here on a Metallica Blackened Whiskey Friday. It is NFL related, and the Cardinals have released wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins today. Now, I joked around on Twitter saying Kyle Shanahan should pick up that phone like Adele and be like, hello. Now, can they afford him? The answer is probably not. Do they have a deeper wide receiver room right now than before? DeAndre Hopkins would absolutely be a luxury item more than a necessity to a team that's already loaded to bear with talent and weapons. But whenever the possibility of adding the second most talented offensive weapon on the team sort of presents itself, you got to kick the tires on that, right? You just have to. Christian McCaffrey is the best weapon that the 49ers have. If DeAndre Hopkins showed up, he'd be number 2 instantly. All due respect to Debo and Ayuk and George Kittle and Elijah Mitchell and everyone else that you're excited about, and I'm excited about this year. DeAndre Hopkins is fucking play, dude. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. Well, what about that PED suspension? Yeah, it's football. Everyone gets one eventually. All I can tell you is how are the Arizona Cardinals perpetually a bad organization? Well, let's start with you're cutting DeAndre Hopkins. You telling me you couldn't find a trade for him? You couldn't have picked up a 5th, 4th, 3rd rounder for DeAndre Hopkins anywhere in the draft? You seriously just let that guy walk? I mean, that's the NFL telling you, we know how bad you are at business, Arizona, because we bet you're going to choke on how to exit the DeAndre Hopkins, the business. God, that's a bad, poorly run franchise. It really, truly is, man. So, look, it's going to be a fun weekend. Game 6, must have it for the Celtics in Miami, is going to set up a fun Saturday night of basketball, I hope. We've got the Giants starting to play some good baseball. Again, put your eye on the Giants, and we'll explain why here in just a second. And then, look, I've said it over and done, over and over. I'm not a big auto racing guy. As a matter of fact, I'm not an auto racing guy. I don't pretend to be. I'm not putting on airs. The whole, Formula One thing that happened and the revolution there, it hasn't really caught me yet, but Jillian's starting to want to watch that Drive to Survive series. We might pick that up. She's doing a little work maybe with never mind. McLaren. McLaren's going to be a sponsor here before it's all said and done. But look, there are a lot of interesting things going on around a racetrack back home again in Indiana. The Indianapolis 500 is on Sunday. It's Memorial Day weekend. Everybody's got a long weekend, so I hope you enjoy it. I will watch a little of the Indianapolis 500. I will. That's a great American sporting event, one of the most fun days I've ever had at a sporting event. The size of that track, the spectacle of it all, it's incredible. It's incredible. It really is. So the only thing that the Indianapolis 500 is going to be lacking is Jim Neighbors, who, of course, passed away, and they can't. Back home again in Indiana. And they're going to pull out the world's biggest drum by Purdue, which isn't even the world's biggest drum anymore. Frickin' Purdue marching band. That's amateur hour compared to the music students Indiana has. But, okay, they're engineers, but they haven't been able to engineer themselves a championship in basketball, and that's all that really matters in the state of Indiana. Go Hoosiers. But I'm talking to the wife about the background here, right? We need to get a 49ers helmet in there. And I told her that I would like a Cal helmet, because when I was a kid growing up, I thought the script Cal helmet was just awesome. But as I've told you, if I get kicked in the dick one more time, and that's all Indiana football does, I'm adopting USC the minute they join the Big Ten. I told Jillian about getting a USC helmet behind me. It's the closest she's come to contacting a divorce lawyer since we've been together. She is not having any USC paraphernalia behind me. I'm going to have to hide it. I'm going to have to hide that. It's going to happen, though. Fight on. Go Trojans. By the way, I got good news on the coffee front. Phil's, and I'm a Phil's guy. This is a sponsor. This is an ad-free. This is a sponsorship-free ad I'm about to do for Phil's Coffee. Filtered Soul, that's my blend, man. I need a cup of Filtered Soul every day. Haven't had a cup of Filtered Soul in about a month. They had a fire in the warehouse, which slowed down their delivery. I get bags delivered, baby. I don't get my beans at the grocery store. I get my beans delivered from Phil's. They finally got back to their delivery schedule. So I have good coffee every day. I'm like Tarantino in Pulp Fiction. You don't need to tell me my coffee's good. I buy it. I know how expensive it is. I know I have good coffee. Winston Wolfe, little cheers. This is good coffee. Oh, Phil's, I need you. I love you. You should totally sponsor the show, by the way. Totally sponsor the show. Oh, look, Jillian's in the chat now. She's very excited. She's very excited because people are saying nice things about her Bears. Look at this. Hold on. Here we go. What do we got? Oski. There you go. Nebraska helmet. No, we're not going to have any Nebraska helmets over here. No. You know the N on the side of the Nebraska helmet stands for knowledge. Yeah, a lot of Go Bears. You tell the story. You tell the whole damn story. Someone's appreciating the Jim Neighbors. Thank you very much. Oh, I Am the Bay wants to know, Damon, what can you tell us about Trace Jackson Davis since the Warriors are hosting him today for the draft? Dude, Trace Jackson Davis is a low post player who is about scoring from 8 feet and in, and he rebounds. He rebounds. He's exactly the kind of player that I think the Warriors could draft and actually play in his rookie season. I've seen another name from Indiana, Jalen Hood-Schifino, a guard attached to the Warriors too. I don't know if he'll be there. I don't know if Trace Jackson Davis. Look, if Trace Jackson Davis is there around 19, the Warriors should jump on that. And if they do, holy shit, we're gonna don't let a Hoosier be on the Golden State Warriors. Then we'll talk about that 2-timeline plan firing back up and building all around for the Trace Jackson Davis era. Rawr. Look, the Warriors have done well drafting the sons of former NBA players, right? Absolutely they have. They've done very well. Steph Curry, son of a former NBA player. Klay Thompson, son of a former NBA player. Trace Jackson Davis is Dale Davis's kid. Remember him from the Pacers? Go ahead. Go ahead. Get that NBA family DNA on the roster. I want to get to the San Francisco Giants. Oh, by the way, I'm getting booed about USC. Look at it this way. Let's say before we get to the Giants, let's say you have suffered as an Indiana football fan and you're looking for a new team to adopt. Why the fuck would you adopt the Cal Golden Bears, who are racing to the finish line of disappointment every year along with the Hoosiers? You know what would be even dumber for me is if I adopted UCLA, another basketball school trying to play a little football, and they come into the Big Ten. And I'm going USC, baby. Get Song Girls. Come on. You're telling me not only do I get, 8 Heisman final, 11 national championships, I get the Song Girls, the best sweater tits in the world. I know what's up. Dude, the Song Girls are responsible for my libido. I mean, I remember being like a little kid seeing them and going, oh, wait a minute. I think I like girls. Song Girls, dude. They're pumping out playmates on that cheerleaders team. Come on. Fight on. All right. Here we go. The San Francisco Giants kids are starting to cook with fire. Again, I'm not saying get excited, but I am saying get interested. You're going to have yourself a baseball season this year, San Francisco. You are. They got back to 500 last night. Again, no great shakes. They started poorly. Giants used 6 pitchers in a shutout last night in Milwaukee. That bullpen is officially firing darts over like the last 3 weeks, a month. They're a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year. Michael Conforto, look, he had a slow start, which coming off a year lost to injury probably should have been expected. Probably shouldn't have been as disappointed with Michael Conforto's slow start. You should probably be excited about who he might be on this team. He went 4 for 4 last night with a home run. And look, when the Giants hit home runs, they're not hitting cheapies, man. He crushed that thing, 424 feet. Conforto's going 8 for 17 with 3 home runs, 6 RBIs in just his last 4 games. So welcome to the club, Michael Conforto. I saw this from the ESPN postgame write-up. Conforto has 11 home runs and 22 walks in this season. The former New York Mets outfielder has now joined Moises Alou, Barry Bonds, and Willie Mays as the only Giants players since 1901 to have at least 10 home runs and 20 walks in their first 44 games with the team. Is Michael Conforto, Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, or Moises Alou? Probably not. But he's in a conversation for as good of a start as they've had, so that's good stuff. Look, there's a lot to not like about Farhan and the way that he's run this team. And we've always said he's been better at the back of the roster than he is at the top of the roster. Well, look, Michael Conforto's coming on. J.D. Davis, who was a Farhan move. Like, these guys are really powering the lineup right now. Casey Schmidt is the most exciting rookie call-up, in years? The pitching is officially across the board now decent. Even Sean Manaea is starting to contribute out of the bullpen. You got Mike Yastrzemski back from injury, and he's starting to see the ball well. He's always going to leave you wanting more, but right now he's their best option in center field. You got Estrada, who's got a lot of hits in his bat. Like, he's got the best WAR on the team right now. Tyro Estrada. You got, Patrick Bailey, the rookie catcher, who is certainly the best backstop that they have right now. He's a better catcher than Sable. Also a rook. Joey Bart, stock down all the way, but this is about what's going good with the Giants, not what's going wrong. Let me tell you, if Mitch Haniger gets right, like all of a sudden the Giants are going to have a little bit of a lineup. I'm starting to see, and I remember when everyone was so down on the Giants saying they're going to have a terrible year, I told you they're not going to have a terrible year. They're not going to have a great year, but they're going to be better than people expect, and the team that I thought might be better than people expect is starting to rear its head. Alex Wood gets the ball tonight. He's still looking for his first decision on the year. You got Webb and Cobb going on Saturday and Sunday. So while you're watching the Indianapolis 500 Giants fans, you're going to have a little bit of a flip back there. And again, the Giants are worth watching right now, and they're going to get a little bit better. I mean, Jock Peterson should be back soon. Austin Slater, according to Gabe Kapler, can be measured in days away. So, interesting, right? I mean, they're just getting interesting. That's all you can hope for. Meanwhile, the Oakland A's are officially interesting for all the wrong reasons. They're now 10-42, back home after a winless 7-game road trip, and for that, they get awarded a series with the Astros and a homestand that will feature the Atlanta Braves right now, and the Atlanta Braves are just cooking. So the A's are in an awful lot of trouble. They're just the third team since 1901 to have a winning percentage under 200, 52 games into the year. I mean, that's the thing. You know, small sample size. Everyone talks about small sample sizes. This is a large sample size of sucking. And Ben Ross, who covers the A's, had a couple just sobering tweets. The A's at 10-42 are on pace to go 32-130 this year. That would be the second most losses in Major League history, behind the 1899 Cleveland Spiders, who lost 134 games in a row. Las Vegas, keep all your A's stadium renderings. I'm telling you, John Fisher is the poison that your town does not need. It took the Rays, this is a great tweet from Ben Ross, it took the Rays 11 games to get to 11 wins. The A's, through 52 games, have not reached 11 wins. I mean, I'm going to pause for dramatic effect right there, sip this coffee, and just look sternly at the camera. That's the what the hell face. I mean, come on. Come on, man. I mean, you can't just show up as a Major League Baseball team and be that bad without it being part of the design. The A's level of suck that they have right now is not a bug. It's a feature. Fuck John Fisher at all times. Can't say it enough. Can't say it loud enough. Can't say it with your throat deep enough. You really can't. You really, really can't. I told you today's topic was a little bit about, you know, if you're around long enough, you see yourself become the villain. I'm going to go straight out of Office Space. I'm going to go to the Bobs saying, what would you say it is you do here, NCAA? I got this note for you. It's about an NIL bill which would create a new federal measure to regulate the wild, wild west that is name, image, and likeness. And by the way, this is a segment that I couldn't even do on the radio because nobody gives a shit about college football around here. But I love college. I love college sports. I love college football. I want the kids to finally get their piece of the pie. But we have a level of NIL that is creating, it's going to create more problems than it solves. For some, not across the board, but you can just feel all the stories of those kids were taken advantage of now coming from a different area instead of the NCAA. But NCAA, again, there was a letter outlining a draft of federal college sports bills, and it would allow the following. It would allow NIL deals. It would give the NCAA legal protection from what? NIL deals gone wrong. It says that athletes specifically cannot be employees, which is just poppycock at this point in time. I'm going poppycock. Poppycock. That's insane. They are employees. When you're asking players to play all nights of the week now, appear on TV, have games kick off at all times, you're not just playing on Saturday afternoon anymore. Longer flights in between conference games than ever before. You got conferences that stretch thousands of miles. There's nothing about geographical alignment that means anything anymore. That's professional sports. You got billion-dollar TV deals. This is professional sports. These athletes are employees. The other thing this bill is going to do is create a regulatory body to make and enforce rules about collectives, boosters, athlete endorsement deals. And my question is, again, what would you say you do here, NCAA? Aren't you a regulatory body? That is what? Now just ceding responsibility to another, we hope they create it, regulatory body? Outside of John Fisher, I can't think of anything more useless to the process of doing something right than the NCAA at this point. If you are a regulatory body asking for another regulatory body to be created to regulate the shit that you're not regulating, what are you doing besides just collecting money that you're certainly, basically have no reason to even earn? So the NCAA goes ahead and hosts a tournament that comes without, on-court advertising. Dude, start a private NCAA tournament. Pay the kids right, and I'll watch that one before, I'll watch the one that Indiana goes to. Let's be honest. You got me there. I'm going to tell on myself right away. Another little guarantee from Uncle Damon. Here's a headline that you can just wait to see happen. Watch the entire world turn on Deion Sanders. Watch it happen. Watch it happen. There's a story that's saying, the Pac-12 is about to be his conference, especially once USC leaves. They're going to need some star power. And look, Oregon can have an awful lot of star power and cool uniforms, but people tuning in to just see what Oregon's doing, maybe. Washington, obviously, is a big brand in the Pac-12. Utah's never going to be. So they're hoping that all the attention that Deion Sanders is now bringing to Colorado, he'll eventually be the face of the conference. Again, I don't know how anyone could be a face of the conference that's really not on TV. If you're not on TV, you're the Sun Belt. The Buffaloes went just 1-11 a year ago, and Coach Prime is aggressively rebuilding the roster to the point where he is treating his team like they're all his employees, and he's basically fired 50 of them, looking for 50 new employees. The Buffaloes have lost an astonishing 50-plus players to the NCAA transfer portal since Deion Sanders arrived. And that's not a whole bunch of kids saying, oh, the hottest coach in America showed up, I want to transfer. No, that's Deion kicking kids off the roster. And you can talk about how much college sports is a professional sports these days, but you can't go treating these kids like pros. I mean, it's pretty disgusting what Deion Sanders has done to that roster. And I understand, it's an aggressive rebuild. And if they come out and they start winning an awful lot, winning is the balm that cures everything. But this is just the wrong way to treat a whole bunch of college kids. Straight up, you can't argue with me. You can't argue with me. You can talk about how much things are changing. This is just a shitty way to do it to college kids. Imagine if you grew up dreaming about going to Boulder, being a part of that program, earning a scholarship, having a new coach with all the buzz in the world come in and basically say, hey, before I even really watch you play, I'm going to deem you not good enough. Get off the roster. Again, is there any doubt in anyone's mind the first time Colorado catches a 3-game losing streak, Deion's going to turn around and blame the kids more than he takes any responsibility. He thinks he's hot shit. And in many ways, he's right, and he is. But I'm telling you, watch the world turn on this guy. I saw a story in Bro Bible which wrote, aggressive rebuilds have always included seeing players through their college careers. There are a lot of new coaches in college football this year, but only one is flushing like 50 kids down the drain with no consideration to the fact that they're 18, 19, 20 years old, to their education, whether they wanted to be at Colorado, earn that scholarship at Colorado. Pittsburgh Panthers coach Pat Narduzzi, he has come out criticizing Deion Sanders, and good on him for saying it, saying, quote, "That's not the way it's meant to be." This is what he told Brandon Marcello of 24/7 Sports. "That's not what the rule was intended to be. It's not to completely overhaul your roster. We'll see how it works out, but that to me looks bad on college football coaches across the country. Those kids have moms and dads and brothers and sisters and goals in life. I don't know how many of those 70 that really left actually wanted to leave or were kicked in the butt and told to get out." Narduzzi goes on to say, when I was at Pitt, when I got to Pitt in 2015, I didn't kick anybody off the team. 0 kids. When you become the new head coach, all those kids on your roster are yours. That day, day number 1, those are your kids. Those are your guys. When you become a head coach, you want to inherit a team and you coach that team. If someone wants to leave, that's fine, but you don't kick them out. I disagree with the whole process. It's not why I got into coaching this game. Watch the echo of that sentiment grow unless Deion is straight up standing on 8-9 wins in year number 1 with one of the best turnarounds college has seen in a long time. Watch the world turn against Deion Sanders. Little prediction. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. When Uncle Damon makes predictions, it's scary how often they come true. Watch it happen. We're about to get into a little Club Plus. We got an awful lot to get into in Club Plus. We got a flying text line here today. A lot to get into. Oh man, I'm just look at Ike. Damon, I'll call Phil for you. Go ahead, Ike. Tell him. Tell him this man knows how to move product. And speaking of moving product, here's our final perfect story for a Friday. How bad is that world economy right now? How rough is that world economy right now? Cocaine dealers have it rough right now. A story in Yahoo, on Yahoo today, and I'll just read to you. Carlos, not his real name. I mean, even if it was, do you think you could just go to Colombia and scream Carlos and only one dude is like, oh, that's me? Carlos, again, you didn't have to tell me that is a made-up name. It's like going to Little Italy and screaming Gina. Like there's going to be 40 girls leaning out of windows going, yeah? Anyway, Carlos, a 36-year-old coca grower in Colombia, is stuck hanging on to kilos of the valuable paste that is used to make cocaine. Cultivating his 2 hectares. Cultivating his 2 hectares had cost him about $660. He told the reporter on the scene that he normally would be able to sell the product for about $4,000. Well, he's only been able to sell about $400 worth because there is a dip in demand, which is good. Don't do cocaine, kids. Unless in Las Vegas. Don't do cocaine. The dip is at historically low prices right now. The end of the trading chain where cocaine is made from his paste would be worth millions, but he can't even get rid of the paste. Now, experts say that the rise of synthetic opioids such as fentanyl and an overproduction of coca is changing consumer habits, and several recent blows, no pun intended, to Colombia's powerful drug cartels could all be contributing to the price drop. Some 250,000 Colombian families depend on coca for a living. That's about 1.5% of the entire country's population. So pour a little out for those cocaine dealers in Colombia. Even they got it rough. It's brutal out there, kids. You got really successful people, from radio hosts to cocaine dealers to successful people in tech, all over the place. Really good people, people who are really good at what they do, getting laid off left and right. Again, what they've always said, the vices will never be affected by the economy, like gambling, drugs. Like, you invest in those because they never go away. As a matter of fact, the more desperate people get, the more people turn to those two vices. We'll get your blackened whiskey. But, man, it's rough out there. When cocaine dealers are crying broke, when cocaine producers are saying, man, it's tough out there, it's officially tough out there. By the way, speaking of fills, try the Silken Splendor and the Filtered Soul blend. So filtered, you can put them together for Silken Soul? Ooh, Mr. Bridge. That's a pretty good idea. So I like Silken Splendor. I like the Greater Alarm. I think there's one. There's a Manhattan blend. But I am a big Filtered Soul guy because what it is, it's got that like coca mocha-y flavor. Just put right. It's like a mocha without adding any element of chocolate. Like I really like the Filtered Soul. And again, as someone who grew up a Cub fan, once I found something that I like, I just stick with it. This is why I'm an elite shopper. Because once I know I like something, I'll just go back and get that again and that again and that again. And the whole, like, do you want to go ahead and try something new? No. Like, the minute I find something that I like, I'm good with it. Well, you might like this other new thing better. Maybe. But I might not. So I'm just going to stick with what I know. It's kind of how I do it. So, we're about to get into Club Plus. The AMP set list last night, though, was hot fire. Hot fire. 2 different versions of How to Kill a Radio Consultant by Public Enemy. I dedicate that to all former radio stations. I'm shipping up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys again. We were celebrating the Celtics win last night. Mass appeal by Gangstar. Gangstar is from Boston. So were the Cars. We played their best song, Moving in Stereo, and Magic. Something About You by the band Boston. One of the greatest selling debut rock albums of all time. New Edition Double Shot, If It Isn't Love and Cool It Now. Then we went way left of center to play Agbaju Logan, which means the audience is strong. It's from Shina Williams and his African percussionist. It's a 12-minute long Nigerian disco song. And it's the coolest thing. Find Shina, Shina Williams, and play the song Agbaju Logan, AGBOJULOGUN. Find that song. Find that song. I saw my man, Rockin' New Era 84. He was hanging out last night on the AMP app, and he's like, oh, my God, that song's awesome. I'm going to download it today. This song is, I wish I could play it for you. This is why I love AMP and hanging out over there. Like, I'll just talk sports over here. I think I'm just going to go be a DJ over on AMP. I don't even know if I'm going to continue to cover the NBA playoffs, which they hired me to do. I just love playing the music. I just love playing, like, why does this song care? Why do I care about this song? Why do I like this song? Why do I like that song? I get into it. Jillian was listening last night. She's like, I heard you having so much fun. You should just keep that up. Like, whether they continue to pay you or not, doesn't even matter. She's like, it makes you happy. It is. It's like my happy spot. So, again, I got my Metallica t-shirt. I got my Phil's coffee. I got the blackened whiskey upstairs. I ate a delicious Ike sandwich. Again, the Dirty Reuben. Oh, man, that thing is good. That put me in my happy place yesterday. We're about to go to a happy place for all the Plusers out there as we get into Club Plus. And I'll go ahead and plug the disco lights in right now, baby. But if you are listening only on the podcast today, I want to say thank you very much. This podcast is absolutely exploding. Let me tell you what we've done 2 months in. First month of the podcast, we had 7,000 plus downloads. Month number 2, 16,000 plus downloads. I mean, that is incredible growth. And it's thanks to you that we're doing that. It's thanks to you that the Plus continues to grow. I thank you so very much. I hope you have a great weekend. If you're watching on YouTube, stick around for Club Plus. It's right around the corner. But if you're listening on the podcast, thank you. Have a great weekend. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. But he's not. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's getting sexy. We get even sexier. Watch this. Watch this. We can go, ooh. Ooh. Hold on. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh, yeah. Is that too dark? Is that too... here's the thing. I like it dark, baby. It's good to have you here. Welcome into Club Plus, where we go all over the chat, see what you are talking about today. We'll start with some early messages that I was pinning before we even started today. Again, there he is. Rockin' New Era 84. Damon, I'm listening to Shine Williams, Agbujo Logan. Dude, listen to this song today. Whatever you're doing, take time out of your day and spend 12 minutes with that song. I love a groove that just lays into it and stays there, and that is awesome, and you will hear the origins of Thriller in this song. You will. You will hear a guitar that is underneath the bass line that is the origins of Thriller. This is what Quincy Jones brought back to Michael Jackson, and I think he said, I got an idea for some songs. I'm not saying he ripped it off, but I think that's the inspiration. I was the inspiration for our friend Michelle making the famous scrambled eggs. A local jalapeno bagel. I like that. Happy Friday to you, Michelle. Again, the women of the Plus growing. We're almost at 5% now of the audience. Happy Black and Friday, True Blue forever, indeed. Again, Michelle saying, Plus better. Thank you very much. Plus better. Stacy Leo, greetings to you. She said Friday, my second favorite F word. Again, dude, chicks in the Club Plus party. How about this? We got ex-girlfriends hanging out in the Plus. Got all the ladies today, Damon. Thank you. Thank you very much, Noel. I got ex-girlfriends hanging out in the club. Look at that. By the way, I guess you know he's a pretty good guy if ex-girlfriends are still cool, right? That's a sign. The ladies of the Plus. It's growing. Speaking of ladies of the Plus, that includes daughters of the Plus crowd. AJ Cruz is celebrating the fact that his little girl is going to the 8th grade now. He's going to get some blacking to enjoy that. Little tri-tip. And his daughter's now matriculating to the 8th grade or out of 8th grade into high school. I didn't pin the other tweet, but I remembered. So cheers to you and your family. I can't even imagine what Jack and Ozzy will be like in the 8th grade. Oh, my God. Mark says, Damon, I owe you an apology for my Debo comments yesterday. I realize you were referring to him missing the OTAs. Not a bad leadership look. Look, Mark, thank you very much. But you're amongst friends. We offer no apologies need be made over here. I thank you for the decorum, but we're just talking sports. And if you join late, sometimes maybe something went over your head. I didn't take anything seriously or to heart, so don't you worry about that, Mark. But thank you very much. Again, that playlist was fire. Thank you. Rockin' New Era. The playlist is fire. So let's see what we got. Also, kicking it over here. Again, asking about Trace Jackson Davis. This is Kevin. He said, is he a two-way player? Right now we only have wigs that compete on both ends above average. Well, I'm going to say that Kuminga could do that, and I'm going to say that Moses Moody could do that, and Trace Jackson Davis plays defense, and remember, no defensive possession ends until you get a rebound, and that's what Trace Jackson Davis does. This guy pulls down rebounds like he's a 7-footer. He fought for rebounds. He kicked Zach Edey's ass, and he was the National Player of the Year coming in at like 7'2". When Purdue stepped on the court with Indiana, Trace Jackson Davis would eat him alive. So he can rebound. He can go into the weeds and pull down rebounds. So, yeah, he is a two-way player. He is a two-way player. Irwin taking his shot. I appreciate it, though. Damon likes the Trojans because they're ribbed for his pleasure. Here's the thing. I've been getting ribbed at Indiana's pleasure for almost 30 years here because, I graduated a long time ago. But the amount of fun that I've had watching Indiana football to the amount of hours I've spent watching Indiana football, it's one of the most cockeyed ratios of my life. I'm done. I'm tired of being abused. I'm walking away from an abusive sports relationship. I'm going to roll with my Hoosiers basketball team through thick and thin. That is a marriage. I am ready to cheat on that football team, and if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be doing it with the Trojans ribbed for my pleasure. Indeed. I can't take any more. I can't take any more. Dennis H. says, Damon, I appreciate a scrappy Giants team. Here's the thing. They might have potential to be, Dennis, even better than scrappy. Like they could actually flirt with the concept of good. R.I.P. Cougar Rebel. Damon, if the Giants can keep it going, do you see Farhan being aggressive at the trade deadline, kind of like Sabian used to be? Yes. I mean, there would be no reason not to be, right? Getting into the tournament, and we have seen over and over in sports now, the team that comes in as the 8th seed, as the wild card, in a weird way has as much chance to win anything as the team that comes in as the 1 seed or the division champ or the conference champ. It's crazy the way sports work now. It's like regular season results are hardly even an indicator of what could happen to a team in the postseason. Look at what the Miami Heat are doing. So, yeah. Yeah, you need to go ahead. And get aggressive. If this team, here's the thing, you lose a clubhouse if you don't make a move at the deadline. And you got a decent team that's playing well. So we'll see what Farhan does. Absolutely one of the worst off seasons in team history. So maybe go ahead and win a deadline. What they would trade, what that would be, how it would go down, I don't know exactly. Irwin, Giants hitters are starting to mature from dead pull hitters. Yeah, I saw the same thing. It's not like it's just about a launch angle this year. And maybe that is the absence of the shift. Maybe that is the absence of so much in-between pitch tinkering because of the pitch clock and the accelerated game. But yeah, it looks like, especially Estrada, is now hitting to all fields. And it looks like Yaz has decided to do that a little bit, which is why he's been playing decently. Again, Austin Slater and Jock Peterson are going to be coming back into the mix here. They got even more firepower coming. Again, the minute that Mitch Haniger starts to figure things out, the Giants got a little something. Results not guaranteed, but they got a little something for sure. Club Plus is going on today. Look at Jillian. How many are watching? 87 watching this live stream. Well, there were when she put that up now. But yeah, go ahead. Like Bouton. Be my new Bouton Vixen. Hit that like button. Thank you. Got to get Elena on the show eventually. Speaking of ladies of the Plus. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on. The chat line chatting away. True Blue forever. Damon, you got me all worked up now. I need a beer. Thank you. Go ahead. It's a Friday, man. Get in there. Get in there. Get aggressive. Raylord84, John Fisher probably visited Epstein Island. Only if the transportation was free, that cheap fuck. God, I hate him. I really do. I don't just throw that around, casually. I don't. I hate that guy. I wish nothing but the worst, not just for him, but his entire family. I want all Fishers destroyed. God, they suck. Don't buy any jeans at the Gap ever again. I'm done giving John Fisher a single dollar of my money. I can't believe Vegas would get into business with such a monorail salesman. Total charlatan. NorCal Viking. Hey, maybe Dion can get his old coach Mike Zimmer to be his DC. Such a kind and loving coach to help him out. Here's the thing. I got more respect for Mike Zimmer than I do the way Dion's treated his roster. And Irwin, you're right again. Just shows you that NCAA football is more about money than the kids and their education, and maybe it's been like that. But Dion is, again, he is using name, image, and likeness was supposed to be there as or transfer portal, I should say. The transfer portal was supposed to be there for the kids' benefit, not the team and the new head coach's benefit to throw a whole bunch of scholarship players off campus. If you earn a scholarship and you accept it, that's like a little bit of a deal that you're making with that place of higher education, that you're in it together now. And it's gross. It's gross. Again, for a one or two kids got to go. You find a bad seed, you get them off the team through that. But 50, that's not what the transfer portal was supposed to be. Drew Down, referring to the cocaine story. That inflation is hitting everywhere. It sure is. True Blue forever. Cocaine, hell of a drug. Hectares? Yes, it was hectares, Mr. Bridge. Mitch saying, hey, I'll give Carlos $600 for that product right now. Again, anyone dipping into the tip jar today, we'll take a $600 donation right now. Help Carlos. Help Damon. The Rodfather, 78. It is a great quote from George Carlin. I don't do cocaine. I just like the way it smells. I had a buddy of mine who did have, I'll even call it a cocaine problem, and he used to say, look, man, I'm not addicted to cocaine. I've just been doing it for 20 years. Don't do drugs, kids. Unless it comes out of the ganja jar. That's good time. Macho Grande? Over Macho Grande? No, I don't think I'll ever get over Macho Grande. Thank you very much. True Blue forever. George Zip. Airplane, kids. Watch it. Watch it. What do we got here? R.I.P. Cougar Rebel. I'd rather have Jimmy Butler get his ring than Aaron Gordon from San Jose. Yeah, but Aaron Gordon's on the better team. I don't know why. I don't have a problem with Aaron Gordon. I love the way that the Denver Nuggets have come together and been built and were patient throughout their building process and patient with Gordon's development and patient with Michael Porter Jr. coming back from injury and patient with Jamal Murray. And again, they've got, the greatest second-round pick maybe in the history of sports in Nikola Jokic. Certainly the NBA. Maybe not the history of sports, but, dude, I'm down. Ernie Chavez, Damon with the Nuggets. I am rocking with the Nuggets. I absolutely am. We need the 2023 update mix. Here's the thing. So I've got every single set list that I played on amp written down like I'm Fish or something, and I'm tracking my set lists. I got it all written down. Damon, you can play music on Twitch. I don't know. Can you? I don't know if you just can play music on Twitch, because I don't know if Twitch paid for any of that licensing. Amazon has. That's why I'm telling you, sign up for an amp account and then come hang out with me next time. It's like you, me, and 12 other people. I have such a teeny tiny audience. Like, dude, there's no such thing as an audience that doesn't matter to me. But this is like the smallest room in the club that I play. And, dude, I love it. I have so much fun over on the AMP app, and I'm doing it for like, I think last night's show peaked at like 46, 50 listeners. I mean, that any other place, I'm not showing up to do that. But I'm having so much fun playing all the music that I want to play that we'll continue playing music over there and hang out over here. Oh, look at that. Jingle jangle. Send it in, Jerome. Postman. 2 bones in the jar. Thank you, Postman. Postman and Capitola. You want to talk about supporting the show? My man is always there. Always there. Supporting the show, supporting the products, supporting the sponsors, supporting the Blackened, the Ikes. And you know what I'm going to do a little bit later on today? A little bit later on today, I am going down to San Mateo to meet a dentist. A dentist that reached out to me who wants to advertise here on the Plus. I love helping small businesses grow. Now that I am a small business growing myself, I'll absolutely do that if we can arrange it. Seriously, I love it. People reaching out to me. Damon, I want to support you. Makes me want to reach out to them and support them. It really, really does. Thank you so very much. Vince. Jingle jangle. Couple bucks for a fuck John Fisher. Oh, dude, I'll give that to you for free. No doubt about that. Michelle Haberman, ladies of the Plus represent. I love it. Raylord 84. You just came up with Damon. Don't make him mad. He'll turn into Plucifer. That's pretty good. I was joking around with Jillian. I'm like, so what can we offer this dentist? Maybe we can have everyone who comes in and signs up from the member of the Plus. They can join a club called the Plus Tooth. I got ideas. I should have gone into marketing. Oh, man. That's right. True Blue for El Bouton Vixen. I miss Elena. Best voice on the radio. Michelle knows. Best voice. I miss Elena. Damon, will you be setting up for a big barbecue Monday? What is your choice of meat? Choice of weapon, NorCal? So I'll tell you what I really love, and I've just been crushing. Jillian loves it too. I've been taking skirt steak and putting it in a very teriyaki marinade. Not too long. You don't want it to overpower the entirety of the steak, but a little kiss of that teriyaki, and I normally do not marinate steak. A great beef needs nothing more than salt and pepper, but this is a marinade that is so good, and I've just been crushing skirt steak on the Weber. Crushing it. And that's kind of like my go-to cut these days. I honestly, though, I got to look for an even cheaper cut. I think I might go flank. Here's the thing. The Weber is the star of the show. I can take a bad piece of meat and turn it into something delicious on that Weber. My boys, I don't believe can come over until next weekend. So we're kind of postponing our Fat Boy Grill Party until next weekend, not Memorial Day weekend, but that's when the guys can arrive. So we might have to bust out the camera and show you what we're cooking up. We're going to have a Grill That Meat Day between me and my friends. Let's see. Yeah, this is good advice from Vince. Gap, Old Navy, Banana Republic, all Fisher products. Screw them. Amen. Amen. Oh, look at Ernie. Dropping a little love. Hectares is a 2.5 acres. We're learning something. Mr. Bridge. Broadway is hectares to a night. Oh, the Omar Vizquel. Broadway is dark tonight. It's incredible. You had to have been there. You know. You either know or you don't know. Broadway is dark tonight. Yeah, oh, by the way, Amazon owns Twitch? All right. But here's the thing. They don't have a way for me to play the music the way that Amp does. Like, Amp lets me set my own playlist, and the amount of stuff that they got, it was incredible. Yeah, I did go long yesterday. I did about 2 hours. 2 hours over there. That was a lot of fun, New Era. Thanks for hanging out for all of it, man. Again, you support the product mightily. Oh, by the way, speaking of supporting the product mightily, jingle jangle for that holiday weekend, Mitch. Thank you very much. Go get me another bottle of Very Teriyaki. NorCal Viking. Damon, did you work at your college radio station? DJ spinning? Yeah, I did. I spent more time in the college radio station than I did in the library. I'll tell you that right now. Me and my boy Tom Ackerman, who's now one of the voices of the St. Louis Cardinals and runs KMOX in St. Louis. Dude, we would play and just hang out in the college radio station. And I even told the story last night. When I was in college in the mid-'90s, this was the peak of, like, alternate rock. Alt-rock was the buzz. If you weren't alt-rock, you were in trouble. I had so much alt-rock crammed down my throat that we would go in there and piss everyone off and play, like, Steely Dan. I get an email in the early days of email at my .indiana at edu.indiana or whatever the hell it was account from the guy who's running the station. He's like, this is an alternate radio station. Please don't play Steely Dan. I'm like, dude, I'm a senior. I'm going to do whatever the fuck it is I want. So we played plenty of Steely Dan. Yeah, we will have meat day. Absolutely. Godfather. Damon and the boys having meat day. Every now and then, you just got to have meat day. Damon, I saw Ray Durham at Momo's. Steve P. That was one of my favorite drops. One of my favorite drops. Final question of the Plus, Club Plus. Do you have an amp handle like DJ Jazzy Plus? No, it's Damon Bruce Plus. Same logo that you see right here, this logo right here. That's what we use, baby. When that flag is flying, you know who it is. Name that meat. Skirt steak. Skirt steak. Really good. It used to be a less expensive cut of meat. Again, the prices of everything's going up. Prices of frickin' cocaine's going up. Or down, I should say. Isn't that funny? But the price of legal products going up, the price of illegal product going down. Damn fentanyl. Stay away from the fentanyl, kids. There's my final advice to you for this show today. Kids, Metallica Black and Whiskey, yes. Ike sandwiches, yes. Fentanyl, no. And there's a little advice from Uncle Damon. Have yourself a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Maybe here's what we might do. Maybe I'll come down here, if I can peel away from the kids long enough, to maybe do like the last 25 laps of the Indianapolis 500 and sort of hang out, and I'll sing like, I'll sing like Jim Neighbors as long as you can handle it. Yeah, skirt steak was cheap until it became popular. It's kind of what happened with whiskey. Whiskey used to be a much lower price point than it is these days, but it got popular. What really happened, and I'm not blaming you ladies, because I think it's great that you're drinking delicious whiskey cocktails with brown liquor. Women in the 80s did not drink whiskey. In the 90s, in the early 2000s, women became whiskey drinkers in a ratio that whiskey had never really seen before. And that helped drive the price point up because more whiskey was moving off the shelves because women started embracing whiskey, which I'm all about. I love whiskey women. Well, if the first rule of show business is leave them wanting more, all I can tell you, it was great hanging out with you today. I want to leave you wanting more. We probably already shared too much, but that's what we do here in Club Plus. It was great talking to you today. Thank you for supporting everything we're doing over here. It means the world to me. It really does. We'll hang out a little bit at some point, at some time over this long weekend. And, of course, whether or not the world's taking it off or not on Monday, I'll be right back on at 11 a.m. on Monday on the Damon Bruce Show, only on Damon Bruce Plus. But that is it for Club Plus today, and we will just remind you one last time that you don't need to go home. It's Friday. You can hang out and you can party, but you just can't stay here. Take care.